Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X as I often do on weekends. 2D 4X is a 2D 4X video game that is a post-apocalyptic strategy game. It takes place in North America. These are our test counties. There are 7 of them, Oregon and 1 in Washington. It's open source, made in Godot .Net, which is the C# version of Godot. I just noticed a bug here. I often try to remember what I did the day before I start streaming, and I put this little X on here, and every time you close it, this counts up. It's not supposed to do that. Somewhere there's a plus equals where it should just be an equals. So I think we'll tackle that first, and then we're gonna go to we want these numbers to work. These numbers are what you used the day before, and they currently are not working except for the first day. The first day they work great, and then the next day they do not. They just stop working after that. I think it's the order, or the list is not being copied correctly. That's 2 things I thought of. I also was looking at this thing and I was like, what is going on here? This seems like this should be something. Maybe this is what I was working on, like in the middle of working on yesterday. I thought I was kind of in a stopping point, but maybe I wasn't. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Generally, I type hello into YouTube because sometimes it doesn't come over, and I want to make sure. Yeah, see, here's an example. It didn't come over, so we'll type. We'll click some buttons over here, and then I will go back over to YouTube, and I will go hello for reals with a Z. And then we'll see if that came over. There we go. All right, great. It's like this button thing that I have to press when I start streaming. That's why when I start streaming, I'm always looking over here. Anyways, so let's first look at this thing when we close. So that's closing the county info panel, which is, I've got a lot of things open here. What's this right here? So on visibility change, I think I pre-built this in. There's stuff that I'm trying to, plan ahead. So, county info panel only has one thing. It counts idle workers when it closes. So I wonder what is updating that. There is that event that we messed with. I had to mess with a bunch of shit, and my brain wasn't really in programming mode yesterday either. So maybe we even have to fix what I wrote yesterday. I think it happens, So I wonder what is. So let's go back to what do we have going. It should be in here. I just put it in yesterday, that close X button. It updates the faction expendables. So let's look at this here. This somewhere in here, like I said, is probably a plus equals. These all look, I don't see any, why didn't you update? Where does it say that? Why didn't you update? Okay, so this is idle workers. That's fine. Let's put a note on here, though. Idle workers, so that I don't have to, and we don't actually need to see that right now because we don't care. This also doesn't really, it seems like it did update. Let's just delete this. We'll deal with that some other time. It has nothing to do with what we're working on, and we kind of changed how we did idle workers. So each time this goes up, each time this closes, see, it went up. Did it go up a bunch that time? No, it's just 1. It's also only updating these 3. So maybe the count has some extra. It does. It does, how it's counting them. So let's go back to that and take a look. That is in the banker. I think we're counting resources, but it's interesting. Yeah, there was, okay, yesterday I was like, what is this shit and why is it here? And I deleted it. And it was a bunch of things like this equals 0. It was 3 things, and I was like, I don't know why this is here. Let's get rid of it. And I think that needs to be there, because otherwise it's going to be added on to whatever it was last time. I think that's the reason. I wonder. Add resources to county, and then it updates the top bar. Check for heroes, count enough faction resources. That's not what we need. There's something, I wonder if there's a better way to find this. So we update resources, no. So on that X, we X out on that thing, which is under county info panel control. I keep calling it panel because that's, then we update the expendables. Something else must be getting fired. I got some coffee left over here. And some water. That was water. I don't drink coffee out of that cup. Not that it matters. Do the math for the updated resources from yesterday. Yes. Lord Mac, how's it going? I really, before I started streaming today, I was like, I really wish that posts on Twitch went to YouTube and posts on YouTube went to Twitch. And I was like, maybe I'll try to figure out if there's a better way to do it. And then I was like, I don't want to do that right now. So that I didn't do it. So I wonder, it's only on these 3. The label doesn't have it. Faction resources, I think we deleted all that stuff. So what would be triggering? What do we got here? Just an extra little thing there, I think. What would be triggering? This is where I think I deleted those things. In fact, I'm almost positive. See, this is a plus or equals the county resource amount. So this is adding. I think we might have found the problem here, but I think it's this. Update warrant count. It's interesting that it's getting fired, though, from this. There must be a signal that is somewhere. It's the only signal we got on there. What if there's another signal? Here's a signal. That's a different thing that we don't care about. We don't care about that. Not for this, I mean. And all of those we don't care about. I think we are. I think that's the next problem. I think it's this. So I deleted something yesterday, and I do this occasionally, and I should know better at this point, where I'm like, what the fuck is this? Let's just delete it. And then it causes issues later because there's a reason I put the thing there. The thing I'm a little surprised in, though, is this. All this does is hide that, and then updates this. In this, there must be some sort of all the processes. So there is, I know in Unity you can go through, and I think there's a similar thing in Godot where you can go through and say like these certain things. There's a program, or there's a thing in the project settings. Where is this thing? It's right here. And so this thing loads before everything else. And that's kind of one way to do it, is to have these scripts. But the problem with these scripts is you can't drag and drop stuff into them. And so all the time I will be dragging and dropping things in here, like right here. And I think that's so there's a whole thing with Godot where you're supposed to like be getting these things by name. You're supposed to be like get node battle log control, and you put that in quotes, and I don't like that at all. I think that's a terrible, terrible way to do things. To get anything that you type inside quotes, there's actually a name for it too. I thought I was the only one who disliked that, but there's actually a name for that type of programming. That okay, maybe this is what's doing it. But I thought I deleted these because we don't have those anymore. Yeah, see, these all should go now. I was just like, I do stuff and I delete things and it fucks everything up. And then I go through and just delete a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I don't think we're using this anymore. On Ready, we're not going to subscribe to those. I don't have an unsubscribe in here. So what's going on over here? Oh, I'm not all the way to the left. I was like, we're missing something. I don't think, like I said, that's being used. I wonder. Okay, that's not, I was thinking maybe we were clicking through or something. So I was clicking this a bunch of times, each county. That doesn't have any effect on anything. Look at that, it doubled the thing. Huh. So GitHub does all like the change stuff. Like here, I could look at GitHub's from yesterday and see what like, because I pushed code to GitHub. And that's like that's one of the, it's many uses. And when I first started programming, I didn't think it was that useful, but now I can go back and look at all these changes I've done. Each step, as long as you push it to GitHub, and that's what this little thing is over here. And there's like a local copy of that too, but I usually just look at the online one because it's easier to look at. Let's rerun this. I'm very confused. What is firing this off when it closes? Like, how is it getting to this thing? Like, what? Did these bugs go away? They did. I try to automate everything. See, it added 3. It's when something's hiding. This is easy. There we go. See, this should be, but this is just pulling it from this amount, like this dictionary. It shouldn't be. Do the math for the used. This is not any math. This is just add the used resource amount. There's no math going on here. And I keep looking for like a plus equals, but there is no plus equals. This sets the faction thing. Let's look at this again. County info panel. And it's definitely that place where I did the zeros, but I want to make sure, I want to see how it gets to there because it's weird that it gets to there. And this, all this is doing is counting idle workers. We actually need an else in here though. So if the visibility changes, we need to update the top bar, which actually may solve this issue, sort of, except something is getting added on there. We need to go to top bar instance. What did we call that? Update faction expendables. So when that thing closes anyways, it's supposed to do that. So let's see what that does. That might actually solve our problem without me figuring out what our problem was, which is bad. I wanted to know what was wrong, but okay, so that goes up to 1. Okay, that did not solve our problems. Is this running multiple times? Let me clear this thing. I don't know why the paint brush is clear. It throws me off every time. We click this. Nothing has gone down here. It is running twice, so there's something else is triggering. I have an idea. It's probably under the controls I put in a thing. Update everything. Update top bar with county resources. See, this is the problem with this shit. Is that it's too, like, if I could somehow make it an event and not like the event would look and it would know. You know what I was thinking about before I started streaming this morning when I was sitting around drinking coffee? I was watching Dune 2 as well, though that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Kind of. It's, yeah, that's the thing. It was in the, it's still doing this twice though. Wait, is it? I think it is. I would like things to not to happen twice. Tribalism and how everyone's, yeah, it still is happening twice. And I commented out both of these. So something else is running this as well. Like, we need to narrow this shit down. I'm just gonna, we'll leave this here for now. I'm gonna put a note in here though. How everyone's so tribalistic about everything, even like Godot. Like, you know, I've been streaming and people will be like, ah, fuck Godot, fuck you. And then I get all defensive about it. They're like, you gotta use Unity. And then, you know, sometimes it happens the other way around. Not too much tribalism with Unreal, surprisingly. But it's weird to me that that even matters. Like, why do people give a shit? Like, and it's very, it's a huge thing in video games, just in general. You know, I stream on my other channel, video games, and sometimes I say something bad about a video game, and people flip the fuck out. They can't handle it. They're like, I'm put my whole identity into this video game, and you said something bad about it. And it's very bizarre to me. Like, who gives a shit? And you know, that other thing that I've always wondered about my whole life is celebrity worship, where like people like love an actor or musician and they go crazy. They're just like, that person's the best person on the fucking planet. I love them. And it just weirds me out. Like, yeah, Dominions is also, yeah. Oh yeah. Dominions is definitely one where people get very upset about, if you're not playing it right. You got to play it exactly. They're like, not only do they love it, but you also have to play it exactly how they tell you. Yeah, it's very strange. Yeah, the celebrity worship thing too never made sense my whole life. Like, they just, you know, it's the saying, it's that thing. They put their pants on one leg at a time too, you know. Anyways, let's put a note in here. Top art control, county info control. I commented this out because it should be happening in visibility change. I wonder if I put this in here so it would happen faster. So let's see here. That solves this problem, but we are still getting this twice. So I wonder what is happening here. And does this twice happen when I close it? I think it is, not when it opens. Yeah, so that doesn't happen there. It's when I close this, it happens twice. So what? That is quite strange. Let's find this thing again. Whoops. What is going on here? Control F. Motherfucker. It's very easy to find. Update faction expendables. Where are you? Where is this thing? Top bar control, that's fine. That needs to be there because it's in ready. So when we close this thing, we need to update the faction expendables, which is right. And then what is this thing? I just added this on visibility change. So one of these needs to change, and we can get rid of this one. We'll try to keep this one simple. We have it controlled in the visibility change thing. So let's try this again. Okay, so that's only one time. Next, though, we need to fix this. We can actually mark this off. No, actually, let's not mark this off because I didn't solve that problem. I just hit it. So when we click this thing, when we click on a county, it should update to this. So we need to add that to on visibility change to this. And we have this info in here. So what are we doing in here? We just count the idle workers, which we don't really give a shit. So we can go banker, update. What did we call it? Why did I call it something different? No, it's the top bar, actually. Which makes sense. Does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense. Top bar, control, instance, update, county. Oh, I don't have it in here. Nope. Let's move wherever the hell it is to here. Or rename it so that update top bar with update. This probably already said. This is probably already that, and I probably changed it to have top bar on there. But let's do update county. What are you, private or something? What's your problem, top bar? I was just on there. Top bar. Update county resources. Public. Is it saved? Update county. Update. Where are you, my friend? Update. What am I missing here? Top bar instance. Public static. Okay, so what we can do instead, if it will let us, it's the static thing, but I'm trying to do this the way it's supposed to, and I think you're supposed to go like this. Public void is good. Well, public void is what we want. So this one, I wonder why I can't make this one as static. Maybe I can. Nope. Because it's using this. Why isn't the county one using these? How did we get it to work with the county one if this one we can't do it with the... What the fuck is it? Because it's going to some other thing. And the other thing... Man, that's kind of confusing, though. Confusing as in we got static in this one and the other one's not. It would be nice to make this one static. I mean, I guess I'll just leave it like this, but I'm going to put a note on here. We should probably make this static somehow so that it matches the other ones. So this is what I mean here. Where's our county info panel? I got so much shit open. This one we have to type an instance, and this one we don't. And that's Okay. So let's restart the game. Public void. I just like the whole void concept. The void, you know, from like Cthulhu. All right, so we click on this thing, and this opens, and it should update the county resources, which I don't think it actually did, because they should have some at this point. They should have one of each. So we can actually go to this thing, count the county resources. So it goes through the whole list, and it gets food, remnants, building materials, and this is where I didn't zero it out, or where I got rid of the zeros, because it seemed weird to me. County resource equals the key value. That makes sense. The amount gets added on. County generation, I think it's set to 1. County generation, wherever you are. This is for testing. It's set to 1. So they should have one in here. But I did change that. I did change how things were. I made that a dictionary yesterday. So I wonder if we go to here and then we go to here, county data, county resources. We're having this update. So if this is not equal to null, it's using this county, and it goes to here. Do we need to know? We actually just need. I mean, I guess this is fine. We're passing it. I was going to try to simplify what we were putting in there, but no, this makes sense. It's county and it's county resources. So this value all gets updated or gets counted. Oh, you know the problem. All this is doing is counting the shit. I mean, it's doing probably a great job counting it, but it's we need another one of these. And so this is wrong. This is wrong. Update county. I mean, it's right, but it's not what we want. So actually, see how we have faction expendables. Let's rename this too. We're just gonna so this is part of the problem with like having to type stuff. Is I'm renaming shit all the time. So if it was in quotes somewhere, if the name of this method was in quotes somewhere, the node was in quotes, all that shit would break. I would have to be going through all this stuff. I just don't like. I mean, like I said, there's a name for that, string reliance or something. Okay, so this is. I think what I used to have is this used to work for all of the updates at the top, but I don't think it's going to anymore. It could. So when we click on that, what do we want to see? We click on this. This is going to update all of these numbers with the county's version, the amount in the county. And then when you click this, it's going to update. Oh, we're back to counting up. Well, we will. I'm glad I didn't close that issue. So I know there's a plus equals where there should be an equals. Maybe. What does this do? Does this have like a temporary? It doesn't. This has a plus equals. And this should be, except we have to clear it out. This is the spot. This is the spot where the problem was. And then I got rid of those zeros because I was like, why is this shit here? This is the problem. So it's going through all of the different resources and it counts them, but because this is a plus equal, whoops, this is a plus equals, it does need to be reset to 0. So what I've been trying to do to stop myself from deleting stuff in the future is put a thing on here, put a comment on here to say why this is here. That seems like that is the smartest way to do this. These have to be zeroed out because it counts all the different types. It adds all the different types below. In the switch. There we go. Now, let's see if that is actually the problem. Close. Yeah, so there's one building material. There should be one food and one remnant as well, according to my county generation. What are we doing here? For each county, we're giving them one. For each resource, let me see here. I'm changing my music that you guys can't hear. I've been playing a lot of The Cure, and I've listened to enough of The Cure in my life, I think, at this point. So each one of these resources should be one. For each county resource and resources, key equals resource type. It adds the resource in, and then it says the key amount equals 1. So it should add 1 to every county resource. And so actually, if we look at this, some of these should be like, so for food, oh, I probably put the 0 in the wrong spot. The equals 0 in the wrong spot. That's probably it. And it's probably, this is probably indicative. Where did my switch go? This is probably, yeah, this needs to be at the top above this. Except we don't have a faction data yet, but we could put it right here. And then, so this is probably indicative of some larger issue. And I think that now the way this is set up, so it's going to recount the faction data all the time, which I guess isn't a bad thing. You're going to get a more accurate, the more often you count it, the more accurate it's going to be. And I'm trying to think, at the faction level, you never get stuff. There's not, except for influence and money. So influence and money is different. So this should have updated and shown us when the first click on this. And so once again, this is back to, I disabled those click things. I got rid of them. So let's go back to county info panel. The minute we click this, it should update the county resources, which it does, but there's no setting for it to update. It's counting them, or it's doing something to them. Yeah, it counts these things, but this actually doesn't show it on the screen. And what we could do instead, no, this is right, but at the end of this, we need it to have, we need it to say, update faction resources. Faction. Oh, can I not go to this because it's static? See, this static shit is always fucking me up still. Oh no, it's not static. Update faction resources. Why don't you like this? This is static, so it's fucking me up. See, now public void, and then this other one's gonna break in a second here because we did it wrong. Oh, more than the other one. Maybe I shouldn't have them embedded inside each other like that. Maybe they shouldn't be inside each other. In fact, I don't think I'm going to do it that way. Because what happens if you want to count them for some reason and you don't want it to update the top thing? So let's go back to this top bar. Let's take this out of here. Let's make this static. Let's go back. So this is going to count the faction resources. This shouldn't be count faction resources. Is that what this is doing? It is, well, it's counting the county resources and making them faction. It's counting I guess it is it's counting the faction resources by going through. This shouldn't be called this though. We're gonna call this something better. This is going to be called. Can we just blow this away? Why does this exist? I'm trying to think, like, we can just delete this and then have it go count faction resources. Like, why is this here? We would have to pass in, I mean, the county that we're doing it in, but, and then we would have to have this if, and look, we have this one static, I bet you, because we're accessing this somewhere else too. It's just in here. And there's a bunch of things accessing this. I guess we'll leave this like this, but this is, I don't like this. Update county resources. You know what? This is fine. If we do that, we could put, if we'll leave this update. I'm calling these things expendables down here. Oh, I just update faction resources, update county resources. All right. So this is going to count that, and then we need to update faction resources. It doesn't like this because this is in here. No, it doesn't like this because this is static. But I just said I didn't want to do it that way, so let's go back to here. And we'll see if this, after this, see, this name is bad then if we do it that way. Because then otherwise we're going to have like a thing that looks like that right after it. And it's going to be like, why am I updating the county and then updating the faction? Maybe this should be called, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Maybe this should be called like update top bar. Because that's really what it's doing. And it's always gonna be the faction resources. Yeah, so this should just be update top bar, update resource labels. There we go. And so that is a much better thing there. Joker, how's it going? I had a question for you, but I forget what it was. I was like, next time I see Joker, I'm gonna ask him something, but I can't remember what it was. See him like we see each other. It's like we're all like hanging out. Um, in person, in real life. Let's see. So that makes sense. Maybe this shouldn't. No, it is a public void, but we can't make it a static because this is accessing this thing. And if I put it in here, it doesn't like it. So then we'll go back over to our thing. And this one will say update up. What did I hit? I guess I hit the Windows button with my right hand. That's very strange. Okay, update county resources, update resource labels. That I think it makes more sense. And then when you close it, it's updating the resource labels to what? We should probably have some sort of update faction. And I think it already does. No. No, I don't think so, but I don't remember. I know that feeling though. Sometimes my coworkers are like, they'll message me, not when I'm working, and I'll be laying in bed and I'll be like, do I want to get up and send a picture or whatever? Okay, so that works. We close this. That's still working. They have 3. I bet you, we can't tell right now, but I would bet this is going to tell us all of these counties things. But okay, so here's the problem. This is wrong. When we close this, it needs to show us a total of all of the faction resources. So it needs to count all of these. So this, back to this thing, this is fine, but we need to have a new thing that updates, updates the faction. Update the faction resources, which is all the county resources. So we need to go back to our top bar. Why am I doing this? This should be in the banker, I bet you. Count faction resources. This isn't counting shit. No, this is counting shit, but we would want it. Okay, there is a reason to have this. But the problem is we zeroed this out, so it's not going to work. We need to make this work with like a bool or something, where it will work for the 2 different options. One option, it's just counting 1 counties. The second option, it's counting all of the counties. And that will all apply. That will work. It will matter. What will matter will be this. Will this run twice or not? Or whatever. So let's think about this. So this one is for update county resources. We're going to need another one, and I guess I'll make it static to start with. Update faction resources. And we need to do all this stuff to make sure it's all working so we can test the next part. And then this will just be like for each. We need a faction data in here. And we're also going to need to put in a faction because we're going to use this for the AI part next. It's going to check its faction data and the county data. So is there, is it? I don't know. We won't do that yet. But I bet you we're going to need, I'm going to put it, nah, we'll worry about that later. So I think when the AI goes through, The faction level resource amounts aren't that important because they don't mean anything. I guess they do. If you look and you have a bazillion food, but then you look in a county and it only has one, it's going to be a weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a weird thing. We might not want to even see the faction resources. We'll keep it up there for now, but I think it might be confusing for the player. We might want to turn that off and just not and have nothing. Like just have it, because once again, and I've mentioned this before, you're going to be clicked here, you're going to be like, I only have one of this, and then if you turn this off, it's going to show 226 and you're going to be confused. But let's worry, because I think it'll be easier to test if we leave that up there. We can decide later. So for this, we need to go through, and we're only going to do this for the player. So we're going to need a faction data. Faction data equals globals instance player faction. And then we're going to need for each county data, I think it's just county in faction data. Is it? I feel like I went outside really early this morning. It was only like 2 hours ago. My phone doesn't tell me the temperature. I reached for my phone to look at the temperature, but it doesn't tell me. It just says that it has a little sun symbol. That means that it's light outside. It's daytime. Counties faction owns. Oh, this is it. This is a county data that it. So then for each one of these, it needs to count the faction thing. So this is why this is a weird thing. And the way we do this is we have a method called, it's going to be a private method, static method. Oh my God, I typed in method. Clear faction resources. Let's put it to 0. Is it supposed to, wait, it's supposed to be that where you are? Are you up in the great north? And then we put this up here. We'll pass in a faction data, I suppose. And then we'll cut that. We'll put this here, and we'll go. We will not do that. We will put this here. And then we're going to put in, we need a faction though. Well, we know it's the player faction. So we can just copy this right here. I have some friends who are in Alberta, and I'm in Portland, Oregon. Alberta? Edmonton, wherever the fuck that is. It's over here. I'm here, it's over here. Except that it's the other way because I'm reversed. So I'm over here and they're over here. Yeah, it's like that. But in reality, it's like this for me. So every time they have weather things, they'll be like, oh my God, there's the craziest storm. Like the next day I get that storm. They'll be like, oh my God, everything's on fire. The next day, everything will be on fire where I'm at. So it's kind of interesting that the weather it's like 95% of the time hits me. So I don't know if you're near there, they're your neighbor. Maybe I might get your leftovers. Leftovers? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to zero the faction resources first. This zeroes the resources, so just so the count is correct when it goes through just one county's resources. Okay, then what we'll do is up here, we'll zero the faction resources. But then when it, get the fuck out of here. What's your problem? Oh, you need a faction data. That's fine. We'll just put you here. But then what we'll do is we'll have it go through. Let's go away. We'll have it run this for each county. And that will, we won't have to write anything new. And it will add it to, shut up. Oh my God, don't shut up. Copy, copy. Oh my God, not that. All right, then we need to pass in a list, I think. Yes. So then we're going to go county data dot resources. And then for each one of these, it's going to add them to the faction resource. So that should, you know, I am going to put a faction data in here. Instead of having it hard coded to the player, I'm just going to put a faction data in here. I might wonder why and then later take it out, but I have a feeling we're going to want the AI to be counting shit. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like, okay. And then this one is going to be the, I think it's on my clipboard still. Nope, I have nothing on my clipboard, but it's right here. I really wish I could click this a number of times. Maybe there is a way, like, what about shift click, control click, alt click? Oh no, what did I do? What was that? I don't know, it jumped me. What did alt click go? Okay, that's not what I wanted. Where the fuck am I? I went to the, I linked through to it is what I did. This is top bar. Maybe it's like an arrow key or something. Kiko, how's it going? Thank you for the follow as well. All right. Now we got that. We're passing in the faction. I really think we'll need this for the AI stuff, and so let's see here. Now we have to test this, and I'm not confident. Let's look at it. We're 57 times. Oh, is it gonna do that? No. Let's see. 113. Look at that. The population thing just busted. Did I comment out some idle thing? No, it must be under player controls. That one thing that I commented out. Update everything. Must need to go somewhere. Update everything. I wonder why I didn't have it in here. There's probably a reason. Is update county resources in update everything? What the fuck is going on over here? Have you ever programmed for the web? No, you know, I tried to mess around with JavaScript once, so I guess yes, but it was a failure. I liked React, how like you could change something in real time and it would update, you know, your test website. Hopefully you wouldn't be doing it on the thing. Um, but not really. Have you, is that what you work on? This update everything is needs to be looked at. Now what are we gonna cause here? Do I have those things in two spots? I bet you have those in two spots. This is probably like I've been duplicating my work left and right, probably. Okay, this is fixed, but something else broke there. So when we click on a county, it should say 113, and I think it was all zeros. Yeah, 000. So that update everything must have something in it. Like, what is this? Update county resources. This is not what that is. This is good, but this is available resources. Check for ownership. What is that going to tell me? Oh, that just makes it if it's disabled or not. Update the name labels. Check for available. Update the population. Update visitors population label. Update the idle workers. Oh, I know why that was in there. Generate heroes panel list. I know why this was in here. In controls. Because a lot of times that panel's open and so the visibility change doesn't happen. So this update everything needed to be there so that if you're clicking around like this, see, this isn't changing. It needed to be, yeah, now it's not updating. Okay, so this does need to be here. And then they want me to make a platform to manage clients and tickets, but I'm having problems choosing the way to go. Oh yeah, that's that's the classic things. Speed over quality. There's three of them. Speed, quality, and price. This is something I learned back when I worked at Kinko's, and I guess it's like a real business thing. So you have the three things. It's a triangle: speed, quality, and price. But you only can pick two for your business. This is like the business, basic business thing. And that's all you can ever have is two. You never can have three. So every company can only have two of those. And so like speed would be like the quickness of getting the product to market. Quality obviously is the quality product, and then the price. So Kinko's was quality and speed, and the price was outrageous. you know. So yeah, I understand. You got to figure out what you want to pick, and then yeah, I wish I could help you there. I don't know enough about web stuff though to be useful. So I wonder if I should put this other top bar thing in update everything. My God, an hour's already passed, and it's still not working. It was worked for a second, and then I did the update everything, and it stopped working. Did I save this? I did. So I wonder what's jacking this up. What's in here? This is all hero stuff. There shouldn't be um it's weird. Update resource labels should probably be there. This update everything needs to be looked at. The count needs to be first. It needs to count them first. Everything, there's so much counting so far. Counting storage size, counting. Yeah, the count was just out of the way. So then when we close this, though, we still got to get to that. Um, this definitely needs to be looked at. Maybe this stuff should be in here. It's if we're going to have it on the other side. Yeah, this actually isn't going to work right. This needs to. So it's like this does need to be looked at, but um, let's put this here. Whoops, what did I just do? I meant to pay. Okay, I wanted to get rid of this. C# because other employees have a little knowledge and they can't minimally maintain it when I finish. Yeah, I can imagine. C# has like a lot of support, from Microsoft, so that's nice. But isn't like C# and Java like very similar? Is C# used for web stuff a lot? I feel like it's all JavaScript now. Isn't C# a breakaway from JavaScript? Uh, I feel like it's all web stuff is JavaScript. This is 6 years ago. Try to get some more. We don't want to look on LinkedIn. Get the fuck out of here. What does this person say on Reddit? It's like Java, yeah. This person's making a game. No, they asked in the C# subreddit which is better. Of course, you're gonna get JavaScript. Or I mean, if oh yeah, it's like Java, not JavaScript. Wait, I thought it like I thought it was a part of JavaScript. I try not to call it Java because of that thing. Used to be Java. Look at that. Look at that. No, I guess not. No, I know. That's why I try not to call it Java. Um, let's do history wiki because people always because they're completely different. Very bright page. I thought it broke away from JavaScript. Um, history. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I totally thought it was JavaScript that it broke away from because they're very similar with all the dots and shit. Like all of this, all these dots. But yeah, I don't know enough about that shit. Obviously, I don't know enough about that shit, about web stuff. I worked with a web designer for a while in JavaScript, and uh, he could do stuff pretty fast in JavaScript. And like I said, I liked that it was that with React you could have this thing running, and it would react to exactly what you were. I don't know if that's why it's called React. What you were programming in real time instead of the good old days. The good old days of 20 years ago, 30 years ago when I messed around with web design. It was you'd have to do a bunch of shit to get it to look at websites in real time that you were working on. Um, Okay, so this is back, I think. Yes, this is back, but now we got to get the when this closes. Well, we didn't test that. Okay, so that is still working, but we need this to count. And I was on the path there, and then I started yammering on. It's going to. I don't have it here. We'll go to this instance though, and this really shouldn't be here. This should be. There's a typo in here. This should be. What did I do on visibility change? Because that one should work. Easier and secure in C sharp. See, so I'm always saying like people want to know if GD script or C sharp, because that's like a really common question, and I always say C sharp because of jobs. Because if you're going to learn something, you might as well learn the job, the language that's going to get you a job. And if you can also do web stuff with C sharp, which I didn't think you could do, I don't know why I didn't think that. I didn't think it was commonly because of JavaScript. Every programmer, web designer I've ever met has done JavaScript. Where was I? So this, we need to run this. Update faction resources is we need to run this on close. And then I'm going to, so this needs to be, but this stuff should be in the banker, honestly. Updates, faction. It's not, it's like private or something. And or I made it whatchamacallit, public static. Yeah, it's static. Can I guess I can leave it as static. We'll do this confusing shit again. There we go. Now we'll test this. This is on close. So how often are we going to do that other times? We are going to do that other times. So we do need that to be, and then that's right. Okay. And is this working? See, here's the problem. We shouldn't be able to see this stuff for other factions. This is fixed. Now this is really fixed. We fixed this yesterday. And I had this coworker, the web design made me think of this. I had this coworker who was an old web designer, and he wanted us to pay for Dreamweaver on his computer, and I was like, does Dreamweaver even exist anymore? And I guess it does. And he spent all day like locked in his office, and people would be kind of upset that they couldn't talk to him because he would just have the door shut and would ignore their knocking and stuff. And he had this tiny office, and so it's like they could see him in there, and he was just like in there. And he also used our work Dropbox, which this is the part that blew my mind. And there was issues with it, so I installed the work Dropbox on my computer, and then every morning after that, I would come in, and it would show that he was working on stuff at home at night, and then he would come in and work on it all day, and he was saving his like Dreamweaver stuff to the work Dropbox because he should have just made his own Dropbox account, and so it was like reporting to me, to give me a notification of him not basically doing day work, his day job work, and that's all he did. And he was also working on a novel. That was insane. It was a truly like ramblings of a mad person. Um, Anyways, I'm gonna go take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw up my break timer here. All right, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Man, sometimes a half a smoke takes longer than it seems. I feel like I was out there for 2 seconds. Anyways, here we go. We are fixing something. We need to make it so, that's what I was going to do. Make it so we can't see non-player faction resources. I'm not going to do that right now, though. I'm going to put this up here. Maybe it should just show our resources. Convert this to an issue. And yeah, that's what I wanted. Edit. I'm gonna skip this song that you guys can't hear. Maybe it should just continue to show our the players' resources. I don't know if that will be confusing. I'm trying to think how it's done in other games. I think it just shows your own resources. Okay, so now we're back to the yesterday thing. The whole point was to make sure that this worked right. Because we need to see, if we unpause this now, let's see what happens. We're on a county. These have not updated. They should have updated because these went down. Did they though? Not this day. They haven't gone down actually. It should in day one. It should show a negative. And I have a theory. Something changed. This went up 10. So this should have been 10. It went up 10 from yesterday. I have a theory. I have two theories on why this is happening. That only took me, I guess, over an hour to get to that part. So it updates the resources used yesterday, and we can see that it's doing the math correctly the first day, which is at 1 a.m. on day 0. And so that is doing, this isn't, except, yeah, it went up by 500. I haven't even started. I haven't even got it to work the first time to break it. So this went up 500. That's right. And then the next, so at this point, so let's look at how this worked. It updated yesterday's, so when it made a copy, it just made it, it doesn't make a copy at the beginning, it just sets it to 0. So after this happened, so it's moved the 500 to here, and then the next day, so it makes this copy. I think it's the copy, because I looked up after I got offline how to make this, and no one has these. I don't think this is working. I don't think duplicate works. I think it's the same thing. What happens if we put this over here? Maybe that's what I was going to ask you. Was about Joker was about copying stuff in Godot, duplicating things. Duplicate should work. I've never put that true in there though. We have to wait for a day to pass here. But this should have other things. Yeah, it didn't. So I looked up copy dictionary C#. And it wasn't like you couldn't just clone it. You had to do stuff. They had like all these other. Yeah, and it seems like, and like this guy has like more, and then there's this other thing. You make a new dictionary with the old dictionary. Um, So maybe I need to do something like this. Maybe this isn't what I'm... So this should be... Well, we already have this. Maybe this should go here. And then we go new. And we put this, except it's not a string, it's a whatever this is. All enums, county resources, resource type. And then what is this thing? County data. And then this needs to get the fuck out of here. Let's cut it. But it doesn't like this. Dictionary is an ambiguous reference between... Oh. This should be Godot collections. There we go. But then it doesn't like this one. Okay, so one of these is just a straight dictionary, and the other one is not, I think is what it's telling me. No? This is a Godot collection dictionary. And this is... It thinks this is a system collection. Let's look at our resources and count. Oh, we're in here. I mean, they're all in a big line. It seems like I would have noticed. County resource data. What did I put down here? County resource data. So I wonder if that this creates a copy of the dictionary. I was wondering maybe we need to clear this one first. Let's see. We might have to do that other thing though. The answer that's higher up on the list. We'll be able to tell if this works to a point at the beginning. No, we don't make a copy till 1 a.m., but we won't know if it works until the next day. It's still 0. It's hard to tell if this works. We know influence will change every day. Yesterday's influence. And then we'll do yesterday's dot all. There's a lot of things that could be going wrong here, so this is a county level. In the dictionaries by county. Yesterday's influence. This doesn't have influence in it, so it wouldn't even be making a copy of that anyways. These are all county level resources. So that's a problem. We have county and faction level, so we probably want to, we're going to have to do both. We're going to have to keep a copy of the faction level, which is influence and money. But we could do, what's the thing that gets 3? It's food. Canned food. We know that they're, well, it actually doesn't really matter because they're all going to change regularly. Yesterday's canned food. We'll put that there, but we need to figure out that faction level thing. Copy county resources to yesterday. Let's go back to our faction data here, wherever the fuck I put it. Let's pin this and let's put it over. God, I hate how it does that. Pin. You have to be very gentle. And we'll put you here. Okay, so we have yesterday's faction resources. So we are doing this. I thought I did this yesterday. Yesterday's faction. So we aren't copying that at all. So that's probably a problem. Let's make sure it's 2 separate things though. Where was I doing that? What had that? That was at like the county level. Yeah, it's under county data. So in faction data, copy faction resources to yesterday. What is this? Did I write this yesterday? I did. Man. Do the math for amount used. Subtract yesterday's from today, and that's how much we have used. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so this is a problem here. First off, let's go back to this. You know, this could be working. We don't even know. This is all fucked up. This shouldn't be here. This should be just a copy of it. We'll have a new method here. I'm just going to stick it here. Subtract, and we'll probably put this somewhere else. Subtract faction resources. Maybe we will leave it here. It is in the faction data. So this is, but we want this just to be a straight copy. We want these things to be broken down so they're easy to fuck with. So we don't have to like dig through some massive method here. At least that's what I think we're supposed to do. So this goes to the key value pair equals this. This is yesterday's faction amount. Amount of faction. Does this is this doing something? Oh, it is, and it's all zeros. Yeah, so that's part of the problem. So let's go back to how this runs, though. So on the faction level, we copy faction to yesterday, and then I was having it run in the middle. And it's so if you do it in the middle, or right at the beginning, if I was having it do the copy and do the math right away. So we have also, let's go back to this other top bar thing. Amount used. Okay, so this is going, it's pulling from the correct list. Yes, the correct dictionary. So that part's right. Add the used resource amount. That's not what this is doing. Update. Copy faction resources to yesterday. So it's made the copy at this point. And then it does this stuff. If we have it happen immediately after, it's always going to be the same amount. So what we actually should do, where did I put that shit? That was like on county level or something, faction data. For used amount, subtract faction amounts. I think it's supposed to be what faction data? Oh, we're running it from this faction data. That's nice. And then we need to do the top bar update. Update faction resources. So these are this has been added. This has been added. All right, so there's a problem with this though. The problem is that we're gonna, throughout the day, we're gonna be doing stuff to this. Like at the end of the day, we add these things. So these should actually be like above this. So at the very end of the day, we update these things, then we make a copy of it. Is that right? Or we just compounded the same problem here? And we can actually have this, I think, should be down here. So throughout the day, a bunch of shit happens, and then this subtraction happens, and then it makes a copy. I think this is the right order. I'm not confident, though, once again. So that still works, but we need this closed to be able to tell if that, well, we're actually only checking these in this case. Okay, so that has busted this. But that's kind of okay. Having that 500 appear throws things off, but that doesn't work here. Update faction resources. But we don't have anything in. So updating the faction resources does not update the top bar because I just changed that. So we want it to update faction resources, then we want the top bar control. Update labels. I know it says labels in here somewhere. This is probably one that has to have an instance. In fact, I know it does. This really should be under. This should be under faction data or the banker, but I think the banker's gonna go. I don't know what I hit here. And this one, we can actually make this less so we don't spam the fucking control so that we only look at the player's stuff. Okay, so there's our 500. And then we're 520 on day one. Regardless, that didn't work. So once again, we're back to, we got to make sure that this copy works. And that's the first thing I guess we need to look at. We can also make this amount used not appear so much. Let's fix that. Faction resources. Oh, we're not passing in. Let's just get rid of that for now. So let's test this yesterday's resources thing. So we know? No, we don't know if this works because that 500 is set to 0. So we'll do a GD print yesterday's influence, and we will put in yesterday's, we need a plus here though, yesterday's faction all enums faction influence, and then we'll put, I hit something, I don't know what I hit here, amount. So we want to know if this should be, whenever that thing's ran, whenever the copies are in, we want to make sure that that has a different, because it should actually be going up a little tiny bit. It's going to be kind of hard to tell. The first day is going to go up like 500. And we'll go yesterday's influence is 500. Yesterday's influence, do we have a faction thing that we can look at? We can do this. This is easy. If is player equals true, then we just want to know about the players. We don't give a shit about the other ones. Okay. I saw something. We can also get rid of this needs check here. We don't need this stuff. You know, that's pretty much how I feel this is going. Is it's kind of confusing. Yesterday's influence was 500. And how are we doing that? Let's double check here. So that is making a copy of this. Well, but let's do this. Today's influence is, in fact, we can just copy this line here. These should be different. I thought I was doing something clever there, and it did not work. Because these should be different. Let the whispering egg. Do I need which egg are we worshiping? Egg from yesterday. Was that yesterday? Okay, so 1 o'clock. Today's influence is 500. Yesterday's influence is 500. Is that right? This is always going to be the same. So this is useless because we just made the copy. We need here. After subtraction, yesterday's influence is... Because that's the first thing. We got to know if the copy is working. Otherwise, the fuck, you know? Uh, oh, we need to put in here if... Oh, come on. If is player... For a second there, I thought I had something else going on. That was wrong, but... We only care about the factions things. And I have a feeling there's more than one issue going on here, but... Well, it's still... Did I not save this? Oh, this is in every... This is in the for each thing. We need this to be down here. I also don't know. I still don't know if like an int will... It should. I mean, I guess I could test that very easily. Like if I subtract... 5... int test negative equals 5 minus 10. And then we say test negative. I don't know why I think that this doesn't work. I mean, maybe I don't know what the fucking int is. No, because I've ran into other negatives at this point, but let's make sure. Maybe there's some weird thing that I don't know. It's happened many times in the past. Okay, test negative is -5. All right, so that is correct. After subtracting yesterday's influence is 0, yesterday's influence is 50. Or sorry, 500. There's something weird going on here. And it isn't order of operations or order of method or whatever it's called, order of execution. It's something else. I'm doing something else wrong. After subtraction, yesterday's influence is 0. That could be just because that hasn't happened yet. We don't have anything it should be after this. Yesterday's influence is 510. After subtraction, it's 510. All right, so that tells us that there's something, because this happens first. So there's something wrong with, we're doing something wrong. That's all we know. Because it's not 510, it's 520. After subtracting yesterday's influence is 510. Yesterday's influence is 510. So this add leader's influence, and we can see that number went up to 520. So they get 10 right off the bat. And then they get, the next day they get So these should be different amounts. So I'm doing the subtraction in the wrong place, or I'm doing the... But I think the copy is working. The reason why I think it's working, because if it wasn't working, this would not have changed. Copy resources to yesterday. Oh, this, this that would have told us something. It would have told us if they are the same, which is what we do want them to be the same. This should be the same. This influence should be the same as yesterday's. And then we go faction resource, because we made the copy. And then this will tell us if the copy is working. Actually, there could be another problem. This won't tell us if the copy is working. So this copy could be working, but they could be the same thing. They're actually not making, it could be that they're not making a copy. And they're just pointing to the same thing. So when we edit one, they're all edited. So what we'll do is we'll say faction resources. We'll do this since it's on my clipboard. We'll do yesterday's resources amount plus equals 5,000, and then we will go GD print yesterday after 5,000, after the 5 KKK. No, not 3 Ks. We don't want to do that. That would be terrible. 5 million. I worked at this college radio station called KKSM, and when I was like 18, and someone volunteered. Yeah, someone volunteered to make T-shirts, get them printed and everything. So like they were paying a bunch of money into this, and they'd use a drop shadow on the letters. And so the shirts looked like, instead of saying KKSM, it totally just looked like KKK. And so they had to like reject these shirts that were like expensive and donated. That person was so pissed. So this is going to be yesterday's, and then we got to copy this. But the person should have gotten approval before they, and for good reason. No one was going to wear the shirt. It was like, they were like bright neon too. It was like okay, so this will tell us if this copy is actually, because we're changing this, we're adding this ridiculous number. Back to the tribalism earlier, that dude, so like there's some people like really get into stuff, and that guy was really into the KK, not the KKK. He may have been, who knows? But he was really into the radio station, and that like broke his, okay, so here's the problem. The copy is not working. See, this should have been a different number. Let's double check. See, we did this afterwards, after we've made the copy. So this copy is not working. It says it's duplicating, but it's not. And it could be because of this true here. I don't know what that means. I just put that there because it seemed right. So let's run it again without that. I've been duplicating resources like mad, but that may be a Godot thing that okay, so that still has not copied this. So that guy, he left after that. Like that was like a huge falling out, and he was so pissed. He wanted to like fight people over, and he's like, it's fine, and everyone's like, it's not fine, dude. It's like having a swastika on your shirt. So let's double check that this is doing what I think it's doing. We added this amount only to yesterday's faction. the copy has happened. That doesn't, I mean, it makes a copy. Okay, so this is part of the problem. Let's go to back to our county one where we made a different copy. Wherever it went. Where the fuck did it go? I think it was at the bottom. Jesus Christ. Let's copy this over. There was another guy too who was blind, who was really into the radio station, and he would just listen to the radio station 24 hours a day. And if he made any mistakes, he would narc to the teacher. Luckily, the teacher didn't give a shit. Okay, so this doesn't work. I'm gonna have to remember that. Yeah, he never heard the, the snitches get stitches thing. So this is faction. This is going to be yesterday's faction resources. And this is going to be a faction resource type. And then this is going to be a faction resource. Faction resources. Oh, these are faction resource data. There we go. Now let's see if this copy works. At least I'm learning something, Duplicate does not work the way I think it works. It is pretty crazy that radio was, so insanely important to everything. And if you could get your, I didn't notice that they added that on there. Okay, so that doesn't work either. This should be a different number, unless I'm thinking this. Am I doing this wrong? Yesterday's. I'm only editing it to 1. So yeah, that doesn't work either. All right, Joker, I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to see what ChatGPT says. Yeah, I mean, I guess, do people still listen to radio stations in their cars? I haven't been in a car where someone listens to the radio. Oh, wait. Where was I? I was in somebody's car. In C#, how do you make a copy of a dictionary? I was in somebody's car. I must have been in a car. And I said, and I was listening, oh, you know what it is? It's Lyft. When I take Lyfts, sometimes people listen to the radio. And I never say anything because I feel like that's up to the, it's up to the person to, who's driving the car gets to pick what they listen to. This is making a new one. What did you do up here? So this is the way I did it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This way doesn't work. It doesn't work with the Godot dictionary. Uh, what does this say? I wonder if it pulled this directly from here. It's like, here's your choices. See, this guy has a completely different way to do it. What's the top answer? If you don't need to clone the values, you can use the constructor. Why is this such a pain in my ass? Anyways, I did listen to some radio and some Lyft, and multiple times I was like, what the fuck is this terrible shit that this person is listening to? And I was like, oh, it's the radio. Because they picked the like most inoffensive pop music that is just like, it's just trash. Let's hear the dumb comment. So this is, why does it think, in this example, shallow copy, if you need to perform a deep copy where the value itself can be cloned and not just the references copied, you need to implement a method to clone the values appropriately. Okay, so that isn't going to work. What if your cock was a rotisserie chicken? I mean, you can go with that because, you know, a cock is a chicken. There we go, right? I don't want to do this. Oh, display the I don't want to do this, but I guess I got to do this. Okay, so it says make a new one. And then, so when you make a new one, does that blow away the old one? Let me ask it. When you make a new dictionary, and if there is already a dictionary for that variable, does it delete it? I want it to be deleted. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted. It says it's overwritten. So we go to here. We do this. We need this dictionary to be... I wonder if it has something to do with it being a Godot collection. I knew I should have never trusted those things. I wonder... Copy Godot dictionary. I have Godot in there twice. If speed is not your concern. Yeah, that was an old answer. 12 months ago. Okay, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I mean, it does. Duplicate is not making it... You may be encountering this known issue with duplicating resources. What? All right, well, we can go. Wait, we don't have to use a Godot dictionary. We could use a C# one, but let's try it with this. Let's try it with this. This is what we want. Actually, we don't even need this here. This can be yesterday's whatever. Yesterday's faction resources is going to equal new. We do need this here. I don't remember if I have what I have on my clipboard. So we'll hit paste here. This is correct, but it wants me to make this smaller. It's not going to know that. It's not very. So I asked, you can see it right here, pathfinding over here. So this was me arguing with it, just pages of it being wrong. This is just all wrong. This is all garbage. And so I was like, let's just start over and ask it again. And its first try was correct. This is, I asked it more questions after, but its first try was correct after I gave up on it. That thing is dumb. This thing about with a Godot collections dictionary. And it kept giving me the same thing. So wait, I need some information from this thing. Okay, so this is, so once we have the new one, so we probably don't need to initialize this up here. We can probably just do this, right? And then we can go here. You know what? Let's initialize it anyways. We do need this initialized, I think, because we're applying something to it like earlier. Then for each, don't get this fucking var out of my face. For each key value pair, I don't know if this is right. You know, I've done so many of these for each things. You figure I would have this down with dictionaries. But eventually it does, yeah. You know, like in the beginning, okay, so I don't need the first part. At the beginning, I could never remember how to get ready to show up, and you know, like to where it would auto-populate the part of it. But now I remembered. That's it. I gotta my accomplishments. You know, that's not where I want to be. I gotta celebrate my accomplishments. I sound like my mom. Some hippie shit. Where are we looking here? Here we go. So this should be. There's literally one right here. Key value pair. And then in the original is going to be faction resources, lowercase faction resources. Everything is still one scene. I still do that. Everything's one big scene. I totally disagree with this make everything a scene thing. I think that's horseshit. I don't know why people want to do that. I was talking about that the other day. Unless I'm instantiating something, I make everything. This is just one giant scene. I still don't understand why you would want to make any of these. It just makes it so much harder to edit them. Okay, so then we do copied dict. Copy the dick. Okay, so the copy the dick is this one. Yesterday's. We add in key value pair key. Oh man, this should be a lowercase, but we'll rename it right now. This should be lowercase. What the fuck? Oh, this really fucks it up. It really doesn't like that. There we go. And then what is this new person thing? Okay, so this is the key that we're adding, and then we're going to do a new faction resource data. Oh, we have to put in each one? Are you kidding me? Come on. This must be like a common thing. Yeah, I think people have stopped. I think people have stopped suggesting that because I would just be like, no, I'm not doing that. Making everything a scene. I still don't understand why you would do that. Um, like everyone wanted me to make each one of these a scene, and it doesn't make any sense why. I still think about it to this day, like why? All right, I need to go back over here though, because you can't edit them while they're in the tree. You got to open up this other thing. Um, so I really have to go through each thing. What a pain. Um, why wouldn't duplicate? I use duplicate all the time. But it's not in a list, I guess. Man, this is going to be a huge pain in my ass. Faction resource data, every time I update one of these. Holy shit. And what do we need, commas between these? Yeah. Equals. Whoa, whoa. Okay, well that's. Then this is going to be. At least it knows most of what I'm doing. We'll clean up this thing in a second here. So I was just thinking, that maybe we should have like a dictionary copier method since this is a pain in my ass. I wonder how you would do that though. Because this knows what each thing is. Well, let's see if this works. Yeah, it's kind of interesting when back to the radio thing, how much like a simple change in technology will have these reverberations out through the world. It didn't work. Let's double check this thing again. Okay, so we made the copy up here. Let's make sure this copy is right. We're adding this to yesterday's resources. This is going to equal this resources. And then after, oh wait, what's this shit? Here's the old one. This one's got to go. Whoops. The fuck is this? Toolbox? What are you doing? Get out of here. Okay. That could be it. It could have just, we could have just fucked it up with that other thing still being in there. Hopefully, fingers crossed here. Now I'm going to take a break in a second. Now we got to let some time pass. Okay, so that did work. So we finally know that the copy is working. And that's right. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT a question about this. So that worked. What was my other? Oh, this is the, what does it say about this? So this is my fear now, though, is I copy resources all the time. With that duplicate thing. Hopefully once again, fingers crossed, it's only the dictionary that's causing this problem. What does this thing say about doing this? So we do a new collect. Oh no, that's already. What is this thing doing? Print the original. We have our original dictionary. Print the original dictionary. Assign a new dictionary to the same values. Print the new dictionary. What? These aren't even the same values. This is called original dictionary. For each, it's going to print them. What are you talking about? Oh, you know what it's talking about? Is I asked that other question and it couldn't. Yeah, so this is it's not it doesn't didn't know. I asked the wrong question. This time I'll take the um but what was I going to ask this thing? Uh when copying a C# dictionary, is there a way to make it generic? Meaning I could create a copy dictionary method that would work with all dictionaries. Then I could just have like some utility thing. But while it's thinking, I'm going to go take a quick break. Um, Let me find my music and let me pause it and let me find my break timer. And there we go. I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I am back. Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to explain why there would be a benefit to that. There's the inheritance thing, the benefit to the having these all their own scenes. The inheritance is nice, but these are all different. And so, like on county, yeah, that's got to be their own scene because I'm instantiating them. But yeah, I don't understand it. Maybe one day I'll be like, oh, this is why, and then I do it. But at this point, oh, let's see what ChatGPT said while I was away. Wow, I had a lot to say. Why isn't this built into C# already? Is my question. Why isn't there like this has to be a common thing? This method can work with any type of dictionary, provided that both the keys and values are copyable or clonable, where the values themselves need to be cloned. You need to ensure that the values are clonable. Here's how you can create a deep. It's so bizarre to me. Why isn't there a C# dictionary copy? Huh. Like it's just what a weird thing to not have. Maybe there's like it's rarely done. Maybe you don't need copies of dictionaries. But anyways, that's our first issue is taken care of. We'll leave this. No, that's gonna throw off all of our shit. Let's take this out, and this out, and this out. And where are we at? Okay, so this won't matter. Well, these should be the same. So this is, let's go back and look at this. Um, Yesterday's influence. This should be the same, and then we did our thing. Okay, so that let's make sure that those are the same for now for this testing. And then I guess we just run it because now we know we have a copy. Let's see here. Okay, so this is showing correctly. For yesterday's is 500, but we now at 510. So we should so it should change to, so yesterday's at this point should be 500. So it should be negative 490 at this point. Okay, we went down to 10. Yesterday's we made 10. No, that's right. That's right. Because yeah, yesterday's we made 10. And then let's do it again. Yesterday should also be 10 for the next day because we're not going up any. We're just making 10. This needs to go up though. This isn't going up. So there's something else broken here. Oh, we got a bug. We got 4 bugs. Oh, those are those things. This should go up by 10 every day. So let's rerun this and pay closer attention here. I think I know the issue. It's not, we're clearing out these things sometimes. Okay, so that's right. It went up by 10. And then the next day passes. Let's speed this up a little bit here. And it goes up by 10. And the next day passes. And it stops going up by 10. We do start getting this error, so it could be related to this. Update activities. It shouldn't be related to that, though. That's something I was hoping to get to today. So why does it stop going up? I think it's because we are zeroing out county ones we can zero out, but the faction ones, all right, we can get rid of this stuff. Um, let's look down in our output here just to make something is seriously fucked up, huh? Um, what did I say yesterday? No, it's not going to help us though. Yesterday, this should be the same. We never copied the other direction. So somewhere we're not applying. Let's look how we apply this add leader influence. Let's start there. So this adds it to the amount daily influence gain plus the leader's bonus. They're each 5, I think. So that's why it goes up 10. The bonus equals 0. I feel like what we're doing here is one of these is setting it to 0 somewhere. No, it wouldn't. Okay, we don't need this in here either. Maybe that bug is throwing off the whole day. Oh, I hit it twice. That's just the start of the game. Let's do this then. We don't care about these county improvements. This might just cause more bugs though. There's just that. I think we're gonna get that same. Yeah. I wonder what this is and why it happens irregularly. I have a feeling it's related to some event somewhere. An event's not being unsubscribed to, and oh, now we're getting it all the time though, huh? Let's see. Maybe this is a different one. I guess I only ran it twice. Yeah, this is the same one that just appears occasionally. It doesn't seem to run in or affect the things running though either. Handle not initialized. I remember I looked this up to try to figure out what it was, and other people were like, "Yeah, this just happens sometimes." It's some like bug in Godot, I think. Oh my God. Yeah, it's this one right here. Do we have one that's the past year? There's a Java thing, since we were talking about Java. That didn't, did I say past year? Yeah. What do they say in here? It's still open. Was there a new version of Godot out? I hadn't looked. 4.3. Nope. Related to methods being called in, I was difficult to troubleshoot due to the exception stack, not yielding much useful information. Even when using Visual Studio, I absolutely must perform a method call on a constructor. Call deferred. I often use call defer or deferred call with a below. This seems to have fixed my. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Oh, there was there was that bug that where it was like searching inside itself. See, now it stopped. Um, you just have to give it a rest or something. Uh, so we were gonna see. So yesterday's was 500 difference. Should be 10. We gotta speed this up. 10 difference. I wonder. Oh, that went to 30 that time. That went to 40 that time. Some reason we're getting a lot of I guess commenting out that thing did solve the problem, but let's double check because I had another theory all of a sudden. So the clock wasn't reliable with minutes, so I changed the event to happen with hours. And I was wondering if maybe the clock isn't reliable with hours either. But I think it was that bug was throwing shit off. Okay, and 10 is staying the same. So that is working. So what we did is working. The original problem was this, and so we should have a new thing happening here. I don't know how the hell we're getting all this scrap. Oh, we have a bug down here. Oh, it's the same dumb bug that doesn't matter. Like, I wish it gave us better information. Like, where is this causing this thing? All right, so that solved that issue. We'll get to this. It's weird that this thing would have an effect on that, but whatever. Problem solved, right? Until later. So back to the county issue, which we kind of made some progress earlier today. So under county, we need to this isn't going to work. Oh no, this is going to work. Okay. I thought we were zeroing out those other ones. But we don't want to zero out the faction ones, otherwise we'll lose all of our influence and all of our money. Update county resources. So we were like halfway done here. We need to go back to that copy though. When are we making this copy? This copy of the county. So we go through. How did we do it in faction? It goes subtract faction resources, copy them, and then it goes through all of these things. This method. So back to here. The first thing we want to do is subtract. That way, any time we update the top bar, we update. We want to subtract county resources from yesterday. County resources today from yesterday. Nope. Yesterday from today. Yesterday from today. Then we want to copy the county resources. Copy the county resources to yesterday. And then we want to do all this shit for the day. Do all the shit for the end of day. And then we want update the county resources. Updates stop. Why am I keep hitting whatever I'm hitting? I'm hitting like the Windows button with my right hand for some reason. Update the county resources. Update the label. The county labels if a county is selected. And then yep, okay. So then we're just gonna move this shit around. Update resources used yesterday. Now I'm hitting the wrong thing as well. I think this is, yeah, this is the beginning. Subtract county resources is what we'll call this. I'm just going to have this consistent. Copy the county. Copy county's resources to yesterday. That's wrong. It's not going to work. Do all this shit for the day. That's you. That's you. Whoops. That's you. I guess we can get rid of this. Update our occasional needs for end of day. Update county resources. Check if county this is busted until we have okay. This should be though probably right here. Update the county labels if a county is selected. Make a copy of the list for yesterday. This is old. I guess we could, no, that's fine. Check if there's an occasional need. That goes here. The population uses other resources. I guess that's part of this thing here. Update the county labels if the county is selected. Okay. So we're gonna fix all these, but I'm gonna put in the last one. I think it's under top bar control, instance, updates, resource labels. If globals.instance.currently selected left click county is not equal to null, then we're gonna do this. Okay, then we're gonna go through, well, not all of these, but we're gonna start at the top here and we're gonna fix these things. See, like this doesn't even have the right shit. In fact, subtract county resources. So first problems first. It only is going to do the, okay, so let's go back to this one we just did here. And let's put in, how does this thing work? Yeah, that just updates the resources. This one doesn't actually matter. We would do the math before. This one, it can update labels. This one can update I don't know if we want this. Don't know if or when. No, we do want this. The problem is it's going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen for every county. So we'll have to come back. Not if we leave it like that, though. So I guess we'll test that when we get to it. But I feel like this is a duplicate of the faction. The faction part, we might be able to take that out. We might be able to take out the update resource labels in the faction level. So this just runs after, because it's all happening at the same time. It is all happening pretty much at the same time. All right, back to this. Subtract these things. So we have the county resources. We need to subtract them. Subtract yesterday's resources from today. And so every county data, will have those three different things that like the faction does, and we don't have that yet. So the faction has this third, faction data. This faction data has this third thing, amount of used faction or used whatevers. Yeah, so we're going to do that in county data too. We're going to have another one of these. And then we're going to call it amount used. What did I call it over here? Amount used faction resources. This is going to be called amount used county resources. Yesterday's county resources. County resources. Okay. So then we're going to go back down to the subtract thing. Wherever the fuck that is. It's on the top bar. Why is this on the top bar? This should be under county data. It makes no sense that it's on the top bar. The subtractions. Was this in the faction data where we're subtracting stuff? Copying? Yeah. This should be over here. People eat food. And we're just going to stick this, I don't know, somewhere. This thing's getting kind of large, though. I wonder if that matters. It probably doesn't matter. We're going to fix this one. We're going to go county data. We're just going to run that straight from the county data. See how beloved, how lovely that is? This is just going to run for all of them. They're all going to have, it's going to do this amount used thing for all of them. Well, faction. Okay, so these are going to run for all of the factions. So that's good. That's what we want. And this is going to run for all of the counties in the world. So all faction counties will subtract this from here. The county data is not going to equal this, though, because we're in the fucking county data. It's so much better the way that one guy mentioned. Okay. We're going to take this faction thing, and we're going to make a copy of it. And I'm going to keep these separate. Like, I could make this the same, but I think they're going to start out to be the same. I shouldn't have copied this whole thing. They're going to start out to be the same, and I could have, named this. I could have just said like yesterday's resources or whatever, because it's inside the county data, and maybe that's a better way to do it. But I'm not going to do that. And then, yeah, maybe that is a better way. But uh, and then if is player, we can just get rid of this. That was just for testing. I mean, we're gonna need that, but I guess we will need that. We could do if we're in county data. We have faction data in here, I think. There we go. Then I guess it looks like we have different stuff inside the county resource data than we do, which is right here. No, county resource data. Where are you? Why are you unsaved? County resource data. Where are you? I don't think we need that open. We probably don't need the camera controls open. All faction resources. What the fuck is this? Oh, I know what that is. We don't need that open. We just created that yesterday. A county checker. I don't remember what that is. Recruit hero container. We don't need that. Diplomacy. Population description control. We probably don't need that. Skill data. Work. Banker. We might. County resource data is not open. So we can go over here. County resource data. And these are the things that we need to copy over. Wonder how we do it with the getter setter. Write a getter setter for the net amount never to be above max amount. The getter setter looks wrong to me. I think this is working though. I guess we probably just copy everything. I'm going to tear this out of here. Put it over here. And then I can't see chat, but that's okay. It will only be a second. We have name. We have description. We have county resource type. And then we have county resource type. Then we have faction resource type. And it may seem like we wouldn't need that, but we use it all the time. Faction resource type. And then we got perishable. And then we have amounts, and then we have max amounts. See, we have both of these. Equals value Oh, because the other one's private. We can't copy that. But you know what? If my brain here is working correctly, I think what will happen is that when we copy this over, it will automatically set that. We could undo this and see what kind of absolute chaos causes that. Um, and then for here, and this is gonna be faction. I just want to make sure. I guess this isn't gonna really tell us much, except that the copy made a copy, but it might not be a copy. It should be a copy. Um, and this is gonna be, you know what we could do is whatever vegetables, but we could do the max thing and see if that changes. But let's see what this does first. Man, it's almost been 3 hours. See if that bug goes away and stays away. Stay away, bug. Thank you for staying away, bug. Okay. Did I change this from saying yesterday's influence? Vegetables. 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 And I made some other copy of something. Oh, it was in our resource getter setter name. I just want to see if this is being set. I mean, it should. Getter. This is when we make the copy, though. That have we let enough time pass? We have. It looks like something's happening over there. Who fucking knows if it's right? Because this is gonna happen every time it's set. So I feel like it's. Let's see. When we make a copy, does it do it then? Because you would get a duplicate, but you wouldn't know. They're not gonna be like fish and fish. It's gonna go fish whatever. Who knows if this shit's working? Well, I guess we'll find out when the numbers change. Oh, except we don't have the numbers set to update that way. But we will soon enough. So I guess what we can do here, what can we do here to know if this is working? I don't think we can do anything to know if this is working. So let's go back to our thing here. We're going to do a couple of things. First, subtract. Subtract the county. I feel like I just did something wrong here. This is not in the right spot. This is us making a copy. It's like I got sidetracked in my brain. This is where this should be. I guess this had this here. It probably did. We need this to go to the other spot. Subtract. No, I want to go to copy. Copy. This should be here. Then this should subtract. So this should be. Can we do this with it? We can. And do I have it? already over here. Yeah, we can just do this. And we can go back over here and just edit this slightly. I think I just copied the wrong thing. I got sidetracked doing something weird. For each county resource type, county resource, data, county resource, amount used for county resource. I guess I could just find and replace here, right? County resource. Gotta spell it right though. No typos. County resource. With a capital C. And a faction data dot is player. After subtracting yesterday's vegetables is county resource. And then we're gonna go, you know, we can put this down here so I don't have to keep dragging this shit around. And this is gonna be vegetables. Okay. So this is gonna go make this subtract from yesterday's or subtracted from today's. It's gonna update this. For some reason we have that in there. We'll leave it there. This actually we use these up. The vegetables should be used up pretty much immediately. But I don't think we have the updating to the thing yet, to the top bar. We might. It might be getting updated because it's being updated all over the place. Let's let this 1 o'clock has happened. Yeah, it's not updating the top bar yet. Oh, we got a bug. Copy. And this is a real bug. The clock, the county data. Subtract. 106 in the county data. 106 is right here. You know why? Because the county generation, we don't need this. County generation, faction generation, county generation. We need to make that thing a 0. Do we? I wonder if I did that in the faction generation. I sure did. Who would have thought I was going to have so many dictionaries and things, and we're just getting started. Update resources. Assign, copy and assign them. Copy county resources to yesterday. We do that right off the bat? Do we do that right off the bat with faction generation? I don't think we want to do that, actually. Let's take that out for now. I don't think we want to do that. I think what we want to do is make a bunch of empty shit. We actually don't even need... Why was I doing that? So the reason I was doing that was to... I mean, we could do that. It's not the end of the world. So at the very beginning, it would just run this copy and assign resources. This is assigning each resource, and it gives them an amount of 1. That's for each one of those. Then this is going to copy it to yesterday. I have a completely different way that I'm doing it in faction generation. I'm just adding it in here, duplicate. Can I do this an easy way? Why is this so dramatically different? That's why I was sitting there staring at that. I'm going to bring one of these over. Because I'm doing the thing differently. This I'm going through each. No, I'm not. This is the same. I think this looks better than this kind of weird. For each county resource in resources, we're passing in a county and a county resource data. And then we're adding, well, no, we aren't adding these things. We're just assigning these resources to them. And in the other one, we're adding them to them. Assign factions to county data, generate building, assign county data, subtract or subscribe to the county heroes list, update resources. Update resources goes through each county and it copies and assigns the things, and then it updates the scavengeable resources, which is a different thing. This is going faction generation is here. I mean, they can be different. It doesn't like they have to be the same. It just seems like this is. For creates both lists. We don't want it to have yesterday because it could copy. Okay, this isn't true anymore. We need it to have yesterday's. This is for testing. We're going to have a yes, so that's right. So the factions already exist at this point because the counties already exist at this point, and maybe that's why we're doing it this way. And it's so it goes through. I feel like the other way just is like a nicer look. And where is this county? We're passing in what now? It's going through all the resources. That's what these are. And then it assigns this, but it's doing it like to a key value. But on this one, it's weird. I'm gonna change it to this one. Because this one just looks nicer. and that's all I care about is how it looks. So this is the problem here. This is an easier way to do it. So we have the resource and all resources. So we go county, county data, county resources. Now we need a county. We need a county here. County dot. Where is this? Is in the. Can we just pass it in the fucking county data? For each county, we could pass in county dot county data here. And then over here, we will pass in the county data. Just to have it a little bit easier, like a little less bullshit. Okay, so then this is going to go away. And it's going to add in the resource. It's going to be the county faction resource. And this is going to be the county resource type. What am I doing here? This is going to be, this can go away. This is going to be resource. We'll rename this to the county resource so it's less confusing. County resource. And then the county resource type. And then this is going to be, yeah, what is this? Yeah, this is going to be a county resource data. I guess we can just do this. And then this is going to be the county resource. And actually, let's make this also say data. What is going on here? Oh, I got to county. Okay. So it's going to go through all of the resources, which is this array up here. And it's going to add them with this thing's count, the one that we found. The first one is going to add it with the county resource, and then it's going to add the actual, a duplicate, and we're going to hope that works. And this is going to go away, and then we're going to go like this, county data, yesterday's resources, blarg. Yeah, it's just the same shit, man. It's just the same shit. And then, sorry, I gotta skip this song. It's terrible. I know you guys can't hear it. I gotta say when there's something terrible going on, I guess. And then we're gonna do the same exact thing here, but we're gonna say used amount. Amount used, I think actually is what it is. Amount used. And then we need to add a resource. County data. We wanted to add this to everything, so we can do, fuck you. All right, so it's going to go through all of these. It's pulling the county resource type from here. It adds it to all 30. What is this shit? Just do this. And then we are copying these to yesterday. I feel like this is unnecessary, especially now because they're the same. This is 100% unnecessary. Okay, now let's see. Now we can, and Joker is often asking what I've broken. Now we can see what I've broken. And then I'm going to call it a day. It's been 3 hours. I wish that one bug would go away. It seems to come back. It seems to appear more often the longer Godot has been open. It's only this game. So this is the first day. We haven't used anything yet. And we have used some actually. Let's see what happens though the next day. Oh, we probably don't have a thing that updates this yet. We're not there yet. We're getting there though. We're actually. I knew that this thing was gonna be a pain updating this part. It's not quite. No, it's about what I was thinking. No, okay, it's more than what I was thinking. It's more painful than I thought it would be. Okay, so let's put a note where I am because after a week, a lot of times I can't remember what the fuck I was doing. Um, so that's something we still needed to do. We're on the top bar. I don't know where the top bar went. This needs to go back over here. We're gonna be back to the population AI very quickly. That's after we fix this top bar. Come on, man. I hate how this works sometimes. I think it's this how many things I have. Okay. Um, so show amount of production of resources at top. Um, we currently have influence and money, faction resources working, but we need to update the county resources. The copying and subtraction has been written, but not really tested. Okay. Almost closed it. And that's pretty much where we're at. And then once we're done, this actually goes over here. And this is no longer a problem. It's a different, well, we have a different problem. That problem's been changed. So show amount of production of resources at the top bar. Show storage amounts. Show storage amount of resources. Oh, do we really want to do that? I'm going to put that on the next round. We definitely do want to do that. So what that would be next to this 10 or whatever, or maybe it would be right here probably. Not for these two, but for these ones, there'd be a slash and then the amount of storage is available per county. We'll put that on the next round though. For county, for edit. Next to each faction resource, but at the county level, we want to be able to see how much storage is available. And so that will kind of answer that one question a while ago, which was, I guess it wasn't a question, it was more an observation that this is kind of confusing. But this is the amount of storage you have, not the amount of storage that it's in use. Anyways, so that is that. I'm going to double check what we got for next weekend because I want to make sure that I'm. And then after that, we're back. We're almost done with this top bar nonsense. And in fact, I'm going to put this for the next round too. Like these things are not important. I mean, they are important. Oh, here's what we're working on right now. We have this in here twice. Change them to buttons and then click on them to open a resource page. That's kind of a cool idea. But these are the two. Then we'll be back to that thing and we'll take care of that one bug that was popping up that I just commented out. Basically, we'll be assigning work and whatnot. I think we're gonna be pretty close to that. Let's push this while I'm next weekend. We should see, like, we're still working. And then I can merge this goddamn branch into main because, I mean, sometimes when I look at my GitHub here, let's just go to my project. No, not my project. Let's go to here, and then let's go to 2D4X. It looks like I haven't done shit in months, you know? Like it looks like nothing has happened, but in reality, you know, yesterday there should be Yeah, updates. So I like to be able, and I should probably work on trying to push these things to main more often instead of so much. But this is like a one major thing that we'll have done, and it will work a little bit with the AI too. So speaking of pushing this to main, what did we do today? Faction resources are now calculated correctly for yesterday. I hope. We're gonna commit all. We're gonna up. This code's gonna be unmanageable at some point. Maybe it already is. It's gonna be very hard to keep track of all this shit. But anyways, that is it for me today. Thank you guys for joining me. It's always fun to talk to everyone. That's why I stream it while I work on this. Anyways, next time, uh, next time I will see you.